This is Freckled-Tan, and you're listening to Rantish, the weekly podcast where we rant about anything from the funny to the infuriating. Come for the rants, stay for the company, because even if you disagree, you always belong. Woo! Okay, I'm so excited. I have a friend, Tara, here today. I don't even know your last name, actually. Noble. I did know that. It's in my phone.
Oh, yeah.
So Tara's here. Tara's going to start a podcast of her very own.
We're going to try.
Very shortly, like in the next few days.
Yeah.
And so we thought it'd be fun to have her come on and just have a little warm up.
Yeah.
Because
get my feet
you've
wet.
never been on a podcast, right?
No.
Okay.
I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I have a lot to say, but I don't. It was never like, it never fit.
Well, I'm honored then.
Oh, well,
that
you know
this
what?
felt like the time.
It did, because I think what resonated with me the most was just like how real you were.
Oh,
so yeah,
that's so kind.
And that's what resonates with me for myself, how authentic I am. And I really don't care what people think about me.
Mm-hmm. It's very impressive.
Yeah.
I'm still getting there.
Well, I'm a couple years older than you, so you have some time.
Well, yeah, hopefully you can teach me the ways. Trying to embody that more and more.
Yeah.
And I do think it does come with age of just realizing like how little importance other people's opinions are. But it can still be scary.
It is a challenge, because I will say 5 years ago, I was not the same person that I am today.
Okay.
So it's taken not a day,
right,
not a month.
Do you think there was a particular catalyst that led to that, or it just kind of came with age?
No. So I worked for a company. They chose 5 of us that were working for them at the time. And they put us through this, it's called BU training. It was therapy on crack. And that changed me. So 1 month we did 5 days, and then the next month we did 5 days. And you're not allowed to make big decisions within 30 days of being finished of training.
Oh, interesting.
Because I mean, people get divorced, like they break up with their long-term boyfriend or girlfriend. They choose not to have kids. They go into drugs. Like, it is a big thing. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, so you're not allowed to make just big decisions within 30 days. So we went through BU training, and it changed my life.
What types of things? I mean, is it just like self-discovery kind of exercises? Like, what were they having you do during that time?
Oh my gosh. It is everything and all of the above. I think that's why I am so non-judgmental now, because everybody that was in that room had something going on.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it was like childhood trauma and being like it's called the forgotten child syndrome. And so I really do feel that. I feel like I was the forgotten child. And so it was a lot of things that had to do with my family.
Gotcha.
And the things that maybe my mom and dad were going through that wasn't necessarily, they didn't mean to put it on us, but it got put on us. And so it's generational trauma. Yeah. So...
Do you feel like everybody saw it as a positive experience? Because it sounds like you did, but not everybody did. Yeah.
No. One of the girls that went through training with me, she actually did not. Her husband said that we were a cult because we were going through this training.
Okay.
And so I will say he manipulated her into not going to the second training. And the second part of training was what changed me.
Interesting. So she missed out on that.
Yeah, I feel like she missed out on it. And I know maybe deep down she does feel like she missed out on it as well. But what can you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Move forward.
Okay, well, I feel like we've already dove in. That's not a word. Dived. Yeah. But I wanted to back up for a sec and just kind of talk about like how we met, because we're actually very new friends.
Yes. Very.
So we met. Do we count Chili's as meeting or no?
I don't know.
Okay, so like 2 weeks ago on Thursday. Actually, how funny is that? 2 weeks ago Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Let me back up again.
Okay.
So there is this membership called the Bestie Squad that is run by a girl named Danny, who lives here in the area. And it's basically like a membership that gives you access to get-togethers every month. A bunch of them.
Yes.
I have only gone to the business ones because I just treat it as like kind of a business networking thing. Yeah. And so I've been going to the business ones, but they have tons. They have a book club. They have a foodie club. They have a fitness club. They have a
hookers club, which is like
crochet.
Knitting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have so many different, clubs, but you get access to them with like that $15 thing. Anyway, so I joined about a year ago and I don't know that we've ever crossed paths. No. But last week on Thursday, I went to the business besties. That's what they're all called. They're all bestie themed, event.
Yeah.
And then after, some of the girls were going to Chili's, and you met us there at Chili's, right? Were you at Sammy's house before?
Yes.
You were?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. It's
so
okay.
Sorry. Okay. Well, we literally sat next to each other.
At Chili's.
And I don't think we acknowledged each other's existence.
Well, no, because that was IHOP. I don't think.
No, it was Chili's.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Fast forward 1 week. So dinner ends. Fast forward 1 week. I go to a retreat for this same group of women. You could opt in to go to like a weekend retreat. And Tara came a day into the retreat.
Yeah.
Someone else had to leave. So she bought their ticket partway through. And someone's like, oh, Tara's here, Tara. So I was like, oh, I don't know her. And then when I got closer, I was like, oh, I literally sat next to her at dinner like 5 days ago.
Oh my gosh.
But then we became friends.
Yeah. When I got to know you more, that's when I was like your biggest fan. I really think like you are amazing. So,
Same.
And I hope you know that.
Back at you.
Thanks.
I'm excited for you to start this podcast. So we started chatting about podcasting and she was asking me about like equipment and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, you're overthinking it. Like, just do it.
Jeez.
Because today we're going to be discussing controversial opinions via ChatGPT. He's going to tell us what the
I love controversial.
And then we're going to say like, do we agree? Do we disagree? And all that kind of stuff. And we'll just, hash it out. We're going to be fighting.
I love these topics. I love any topic that's controversial.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, then I think you'll do great on your podcast because I definitely shy away from controversial.
Oh yeah.
things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, because I'm just like all out there.
I think my thing is I have opinions about a lot of things, but also I haven't really done like as much research as I know I could.
Yes.
So I'm like, I'm going to say an opinion, but also it's subject to change literally anytime.
Yeah.
And it can be easy to overthink it when you're putting that opinion out on the internet.
Yep.
And I mean, you can delete the episode, but like, somebody still heard it potentially. Yeah. So I am a little bit, but I think this conversation will be
I heard it
just fine.
I heard it.
That's right.
Yes.
You'll know forever.
Yes.
You will hold it against me forever.
I'll be like, Hannah.
I know
wink,
what you
wink.
said that one day. I have it seared into my memory. Actually, you probably won't because this is the magical thing about podcasts, which is both a blessing and a curse.
Okay.
I call it podcast amnesia.
You forget?
You literally forget everything you said. You walk away from the microphone and you're like, I could not tell you one thing I just said in the last 45 minutes. That's how I am. I've talked to a few other people who are the same. You'll have to tell me tomorrow. I'll ask you and you'll tell. Now that I pointed it out, maybe I've counteracted it to some degree.
Yeah, maybe.
But we are going to try.
Okay.
We're going to test it and we're going to see.
Let's do it.
I wanted to rewind though to the bestie squad thing. So I literally I got back from this retreat on Sunday. I'm feeling like fired up. It was so fun. It was such a great experience. So many great women there. And I thought it was really nice because I've gone to business retreats in the past, but it's like everybody comes together as strangers. Maybe one or two people, but you spend so much of the time just like learning everybody's name, learning their business. So it was actually nice going into this one that I did know like almost half of the women prior, maybe even more. Like a good chunk of them I already was familiar with, which was actually really cool because then, and we'll have that connection going forward too. Yeah. It's not just this one-off thing that we'll lose touch eventually. Yeah. So that's cool. But anyway, I get back and I'm like all fired up and I see this paste. Whoa, hold on.
You saw pasty?
Facebook post. I almost said Facebook post. That's where that was going. A Facebook post of this girl of a Facebook group I'm not even a part of, but it was like Utah Mom Friends, I think is what it was called. And this girl was just like, hey, I'm 36. I live in Eagle Mountain. I have 4 kids. I don't remember. And I just I really would love to make some friends. I have such a hard time making friends. Everybody I feel like is way younger than me, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, you need the bestie squad, like all caps. Like, it's so great. I did this whole testimonial
Yes,
about
yeah.
the Bestie Squad. And this other random person who's not part of the conversation, because I explained that there's like a monthly fee and whatever.
yeah.
This other person's like, no one should ever have to pay for friends. And I was like, okay, like I don't disagree with you. Nobody's forcing anyone to pay for anything.
Nope.
But like, if you are looking for a place that you're going to have things that you're invited to literally every single week, and you don't have to think about it. You don't have to, you just show up. That's worth paying $12 or $15 or whatever dollars it is a month. And anyway, this person was just like really grumpy about it. And I was like sad for them, but also they just won't, I mean, there are other ways to make friends. It's true. There are a million ways, but I have also had a really hard time making friends specifically in Utah.
Yeah.
Granted, I've only ever been an adult in Utah, so I don't know how much of it is Utah itself and how much of it is just like being an adult.
No, I think it's.
I've heard from multiple people who have lived other places and then lived in Utah that it is particularly hard. To make friends here. And so in that same group, I didn't know I was going to go on this, but now that we're here, the next day I wonder if I could find it. I kind of want to look for it really quick. There was this older lady who posted in that same group and basically went on this tirade about how it's not that hard to make friends and you guys all just need to suck it up, basically. And I was just like, oh my goodness. I wonder if I can find it. This group has apparently a lot of posts.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So have you always lived in Utah?
No.
Oh, tell me, where else have you lived?
So I was born in California.
Okay. Have we talked about this? What part?
LA.
Okay. I'm from Northern California.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay. No, we haven't talked about this.
Okay. I'm going to keep scrolling, but I'm listening.
Okay. I lived there till I was 5, kindergarten. And then my family moved to Michigan and I lived there for several years. And then my family moved to Utah.
When you were how old?
I feel like I was in middle school. See, this is kind of where my childhood trauma comes in.
I see.
So I forget
lots of
things.
missing memories.
I think I was in middle school. We moved to Ohio, and that was in 92.
Okay.
I met my husband there, had all my kids there, and then we've lived here now since 2011.
So you went to high school in Ohio?
Yes.
Okay.
High school in Ohio, graduated in Ohio, met my husband. We went to the same church, the same ward.
Okay.
And so I dated his brother before I dated him.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. And we moved here because my sisters were having kids. And Charlie, who's my husband, all of his family, they were done having kids. And so I wanted to be a part of my sisters' lives more and be with my nieces and nephews.
Really thoughtful of you, actually.
Why?
To move your whole life, like so that you can be near your sisters?
I told Charlie that he had 8 years. I mean, there's a lot of things that went into that thought process. To be closer to family was important. And I had given him so many years in Ohio and being with his family and watching our nieces grow up, and now my sisters were having kids. And so I wanted the opportunity. And so he gave me the opportunity.
So how was that? Was it pretty shocking moving back to Utah as an adult?
I was okay, but Charlie, it was a shock to his system.
Interesting.
Because he is Ohio based, like he's Ohio native.
Yep.
And I hate to say this, but Ohio is people will give you the shirt off their backs. Utah is what can I do for you that you can do for me?
Yes, I can see that.
Yeah. So it was really hard for him to adjust. And we were poor. And so we lived with my family for 6 months. And then after that, we moved 2 houses down in the same neighborhood from my parents.
Okay, pause 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, I found the post.
Okay.
It says, this is by a woman who I would guess 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
70s. She says, I do not understand why it is so hard to make friends in Utah. Everywhere I go, people talk to each other and make plans and do things. Come on, girls. It cannot be this hard to find a friend that you need to hang out with. I was like, okay.
Well, everybody has opinions.
Okay. it was just, it's tricky because my theory has always been, because I grew up in California.
Yeah.
I lived in California until I went to college. I came to Utah for college, BYU. And Steven's from Iowa. So Midwest as well. And he also came to BYU. And then we got married and have lived in Utah ever since. So I moved to Utah as an 18-year-old and then stayed. And so I have never really experienced adulthood anywhere other than Utah. And I have definitely had a hard time making friends. And my explanation has always been that a lot of the people in Utah are from Utah and they have their networks from Utah. So they have like their friends from high school, they have their sisters, they have their cousins, they have like their friend group kind of already established. And so as someone who didn't grow up here that doesn't have that built-in network, I have had a hard time because it's like the people that I wanted that level of friendship with already had that level of friendship basically with their family. Have you felt that?
Yes, because I'm not like always outgoing, like with you at IHOP or Chili's. I'm not the first person that like makes the effort, which I want to, like, I think that is, people will be surprised if they hear that, you know, Tara's not the first person who says the first word, but, I inherently don't do that. And, but after, you get to know me, like I'm that stage 5 stalker that like, you know, we're best friends till the cows come home and you know, we're dying and I'm coming to see you with flowers. Like, I feel like that's going to be me, like a friend till the end. But also, I will say that once I am a friend with somebody, I put in that effort until I see that it isn't reciprocated, and then I don't put in the effort anymore. So maybe that's what she's saying. She's saying that she's the one who puts in the effort. And
I don't even think she was saying, I think it was more like, you young children have no idea. That was the impression I got.
Yeah, maybe.
Was like, I figured this out, so therefore you should be able to figure it out. It's not that hard. Like, just make friends. And she's not wrong in the fact that I do think we tend to overcomplicate it a little bit. At the same time, I think especially when you're in a stage of having little kids, it's really hard to have those get-togethers because you're always dealing with nap schedules. You're always like pick up, preschool, you know, all the things. And so it's really hard. And then there's also the layer of like, a lot of people aren't looking for it at the same level that you are because they already have that from their family. So they're not really looking to expand their circle. Okay. Shall we jump into our topic for the day?
100%. Okay. Let's go.
Well, the first one though, that I feel like it doesn't have as the first one, but needs to be discussed is ChatGPT, the use of ChatGPT in general.
Oh, you know what? Chad is great.
It's so interesting to me, like how it has become such a controversial thing.
Is it really?
Okay, yes, it is. It's actually very controversial. But interestingly, Steven like never sees the controversy about it.
Okay.
But every post I see that talks about AI, there are literally so many people being like, stop using AI, you're destroying our environment. I kid you not, I stopped following a creator because in December or January, I can't remember, she literally said the weather, it was like 60 degrees or something.
Okay.
She was like, she essentially said, if you are using ChatGPT, this is your fault. Like, the reason why we're having such a warm winter is AI because of your use of ChatGPT. And I was just like, no, I can't. Like, I can't.
You're an idiot. Like, you actually think that like the computer is making up our weather?
Right. So the theory is that these data centers use so much water that it's like destroying like villages. But here's the thing, so one of my friends actually, friend is a listener. I follow her on Instagram. Her husband works in the AI world. Okay. Like very, like he's a big deal. Okay. We'll just say that.
Okay.
And so she had him talk through like tell me about these data centers. Like everyone is saying that these data centers are essentially wasting so much water and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, a lot of the information people are saying this from is actually outdated information. We are constantly updating the technology in data centers now is completely different than it was 5 years ago.
Okay.
And he essentially said that a lot of them are like a closed loop system.
Okay.
And some of them don't even use water.
Oh.
So basically all to say, and then I saw another video that was like one Amazon package, purchasing one thing on Amazon is like, I don't even know, like equivalent to like 1,000 AI chats or something.
Oh, wow.
And it's so interesting. And yes, there are obviously people who are like boycotting Amazon as well. Yeah. But for some reason, in a lot of spheres, it has become very trendy to bash on AI and just like make people who use it feel like the worst people ever. Yeah. And I don't think that's fair. I mean, yes, if someone needs to be held accountable, let's hold these giant corporations accountable for making sure that they are innovating in a way that is not destroying the planet. Yeah. But like making someone feel guilty for using Gemini or ChatGPT, like that's just we've lost the plot. We've lost the plot.
I don't have a lot of thought on it. I think it's just kind of like, why do you care so much? Yeah. Why does someone care so much?
Yeah.
Do you not have something better to put your time and thought and like,
I mean, I do think that there is something to be said for like seeing the big picture of what you're choosing today and like where it's going to lead you to. And at the same time being like, okay, maybe the way that it is right now isn't ideal, but like just saying don't do it at all or like completely shut it out or like judging people that do it. I just don't see like how that's benefiting anybody. I imagine just with the backlash that has come with AI, I imagine that when the internet became really big, and it wasn't dial up, it was like actual internet. I imagine that there was a subgroup of people who were also, and I'm like, where are those people now? Because like guaranteed they're eating their words.
Well,
because you can't tell me they're not using the internet.
Exactly. They're the ones who are using the internet.
Okay. The irony of ripping people apart for using AI on a social media platform that uses data centers that are also doing exactly the same thing.
Maybe something happened to them or maybe it's just because they just have too much time on their hands.
Right. But there's a part of me too that feels like it's very privileged kind of to like judge people for using ChatGPT, because in a lot of ways, like ChatGPT has opened the world and given people resources at their fingertips that they could never have used. And yes, it does have its issues. It will hallucinate. Yeah. It's not perfect, but
it will lie. Apparently, I don't know, but I've heard it
can't spell strawberry or whatever. So I'm not saying it's a it like thinks that has more R's than it does. I don't know. There are certain things that it's not, but like the idea that like people could get knowledge and help through just having internet access in a timeline that is so much less than what they could before, I think is actually a really great thing for people that didn't have access to those things. I said that really crazy.
No, but it makes sense to my brain.
Okay, good.
Because even doing a resume.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like before you'd be like Google, and you would just put in like, I need to do a resume or a blank resume. And now with ChatGPT, it makes it for you.
Right.
Like, I feel like it is more a tool and a benefit to my life than it has been a hindrance.
I agree.
I mean, even for my podcast, like I'm like
figuring out the steps that you need to do. That would have taken so much longer.
Yes. And because I don't even know where to start.
Right.
So
it breaks it down.
Asking it, where is somebody seeing the bad thing in this? I don't know.
But even then it's like they're seeing something bad in it that's not actually true. They've just grasped onto this idea that it's wasting so much water, that it's stealing power from other things. And it's like, they're not actually, like maybe they found something that said that, but that research is outdated, or it's like, why are we being so selective? Like there are lots of things that do that, namely Amazon, namely Instagram, namely Netflix, but yet we vilified just this one single thing, which honestly I think has a lot bigger of a benefit for a lot of people than Netflix.
I think so too.
Because it's giving you information that you would not have had access to otherwise.
And what just popped into my brain is this is another change. going back to saying that, like that lady, that we can't make friends.
Right.
It's a change.
It's a new world.
Yeah.
It's a different world than it was
people
15 years ago.
cannot adapt to change as well as other people can.
True.
So maybe that's why they're freaking out, because it's a change.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
and they have like deep-seated issues around just change in general. And so they resist it because it brings up like childhood wounds or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a really good point.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about it that way. Look at you.
I try.
Being so deep. Okay, well, I don't know if ChatGPT is just giving me this one because it knows that I talk a lot about motherhood stuff.
Okay, probably.
But, it just says that moms who work outside of the home are not raising their children.
Well, I feel like moms who work outside the home work double.
Okay.
I was lucky enough, the first 3 years of my children's lives, I got to stay home.
Okay.
Even though we were poor, like it wasn't great, but that was a priority. So for some families, they don't have that choice.
Right.
And especially in living in the state of Utah nowadays, I don't know how somebody doesn't do it without a double income. And I feel so bad about saying it because, then it kind of puts more pressure on moms. But I feel like they kind of overcompensate too. And I feel so
I have
bad.
thoughts on that.
Yeah, I feel so bad saying that.
This is something I'm really passionate about. I think why ChatGPT handed it to me. Because I definitely did have that mindset for a long time, as far as like, I always heard, I stopped working so that I could stay home and raise my kids, right? And raising kids was very much in line with being the person that took care of the kid. And it wasn't until, a little bit of my backstory, but just like this whole kind of come to Jesus moment of like, I'm thinking about motherhood in regard to the things that I do, rather than like the person that I am and the relationship that we're building. And somewhere along that line, I also realized that Stephen, despite being not home from 8 a.m. to 5, 6, whatever p.m., I felt like he was raising our children just as much as I was, despite the fact that he wasn't there.
Okay.
And so that's where, again, it was like, to raise a child in my mind means to build a relationship with a child.
Yeah.
And so it's not about the physical job aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's about that relationship. And it even goes to like, it takes a village to raise a child. Like I agree with that on both fronts. One, the caregiving front of like the work part, you can't have that be all on one person. That's way too much. And also the relationship part. We learn so much and are so enriched by the relationships that we have. Yeah. And so for children to have the opportunity to build relationships with all sorts of different people, then just allows them to more fully embrace who they are and like learn the different ways that people are.
I will say, when I walked in today, and your boys are so sweet and like talk to a stranger, whereas I don't know what I did. And I feel like I am blessed with my children that I do have. And, but they were not like that outgoing, which I think, it is, I think that's a blessing, because then it opens up like babysitting and like things like that opens up different avenues for you. Whereas Charlie and I did not go on a date for the first 3 years of my daughter's life, because I did not trust anybody else to raise, to be
caregiving.
Like anything. And I think that was a detriment to me, and obviously to Kaylee, because like what was I instilling in her? Like, don't trust other people. So I really, that was my first thought.
I think, give yourself grace though, because like you were operating on what you had. So I wouldn't say it was a detriment, right? Like it was just like, that's one way, that's the way that it happened. And like, not to say one way is better or worse. But to your point of a lot of women feeling like they need to overcompensate, I strongly believe that has to do with the way that we talk about motherhood, because like I've always been a stay-at-home mom. I mean, I've had my own personal businesses here and there, but there were times where Steven would like there was one point where he was like, here, I'll just like take over the laundry. And even him offering that felt like a threat to my identity of motherhood, because I'd heard this like, oh, it's all holy, like laundry is doing the laundry for your family, blah, blah, blah. And so I had equated all of the doing with motherhood. So when I didn't do it, it became
a threat. Like they were stepping on your toes.
To motherhood.
I'm 1,000%.
And so it was like, you can't do this. Like, I have to do this. And Steven would be like, why? Like, it literally doesn't matter. And it wasn't until I finally realized, like, oh, I'm not becoming a mom because of these chores. I'm a mom because of the relationship, that I was able to be like, well, I don't freaking care about the laundry. Great. You do it. I do it. No one does it. Who cares?
Yeah. Well, but I'm actually going through that right now.
Okay.
Like, I feel like it has nothing to do. Like, you like things a certain way. It's control. And I just have to like let it go. It's like, just let them do it. But it almost like pokes at you though. Like, I'm trying to think of how to say it like eloquently without saying like, you know, I'm personally going through that. I feel like, because that is a part wired into our brains.
Yeah, it's ingrained for sure.
Yeah. That is my job, and that nobody else should touch it.
Yep.
And for somebody to come in and help, that it's like it is a threat to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, we'll do one more.
Oh,
maybe. Therapy language is overused online.
I don't know that it is overused online. The spaces that I'm in, because mental health is a passion for me, and I think those are healthy verbiage.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's overused. I think that's how they talk.
Yeah.
Because they are healthy now. I'm an active listener, and I feel like that's another therapy term. Active listening. Probably. There is so many, like, the verbiage is, endless. It's because they're getting healthy. I don't feel like it's overused.
Do you think you can ever be taken like so far where it's almost like, because there's all this talk about like boundaries and like, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that, that like we've kind of lost that village mentality, because sometimes it's uncomfortable. Like, sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do because you love people. Yeah. And I definitely have seen, maybe, or at least there's a theory online that like we've gone so far into this, like, I need to protect my peace, that like we're unwilling to be uncomfortable for the sake of building relationships or being that villager for other people.
Maybe for somebody. Yeah. Are you talking about me in particular? No.
I'm just saying, is that a pattern you've observed?
I don't know. Because for me, I did the uncomfortable. Yeah. Because it was worth it. So maybe somebody doesn't think it's worth it, and that's why it's triggering to them, because they're in that unhealthy space. And so maybe those words are triggering for them because, they're not in the space that they can.
One time I like asked a favor of a friend, right? Okay. And the text I got back was like, with my boundaries, like, I just can't do that, like, kind of thing. And it was just like, you could have just said no. Yeah. It felt
don't
like,
go into like.
It didn't feel like that big of an ask, but the way that she responded made me feel like I had just asked like the world
for $1 million.
Yes. And I was like, I to this day feel really uncomfortable asking for things because I felt like so taken aback by the way that she responded.
I feel like for some people, maybe it is a crutch. Maybe it's their mask that they're masking. Yeah. Like when I would say I'm fine and when I'm not really fine.
Like, it felt like a therapist had told her to give this response.
Maybe.
Kind of, which maybe they did. And like, maybe that's what she needed in order to be able to say no. But it definitely made me feel really uncomfortable for having asked at all.
That's really sad that she made you feel that way. But
again, it's like she didn't make me feel that way.
You felt,
I made myself feel that way.
Exactly. Yes.
Because of how I interpreted it.
Yeah.
But has that changed my behavior? Absolutely.
Because if you were to ask me to watch your kids.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm so sorry, but I have something already.
Yeah.
I don't think that you would take offense to it. And you would know that if I didn't want to do something, I would say no.
Right. Guessing that it's like, she has a hard time saying no.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, maybe ChatGPT or maybe her therapist, who knows, said like, here's a response that you can give. But it was so embedded in therapy speak that it just felt like unnatural, you know? Like, so I do.
It was like a robot.
Kind of, or even just like a over explanation of just, I don't know. Again, it's like, it's not her fault that I took it the way that I took it, because clearly that's on me. I do know that there are people, especially with like the people pleasing, like I know that's really tricky. And so I do think that obviously therapy gives lots of great tools for that.
Yeah.
But I do wonder if it has swung so far that both sometimes it's like, oh, well, that would make me uncomfortable and I need to protect my peace. So I'm going to say no. Or I need to give this whole long explanation. And sometimes it's like, sometimes it just sucks and you just do it because that's what friends do.
Yeah.
But also you don't want to go so far that you're like resenting people.
Yeah. Because you said yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's tricky.
Yeah, I get it. I've learned as I've gotten older that it's a yes or a no.
Yeah.
If it's a yes, I'm all in. If it's a no, it's because I didn't want to do it.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's probably going to be our last one. So do you have any other final words that you want to... tell about what your podcast is going to be and when they can expect your first episode.
Oh my gosh. This is so nerve-wracking. Expect my first episode. Well, what my podcast is going to be about. Anything and everything.
Tell me the name.
Tara Talks Unfiltered.
Okay.
There will be a lot of swear words. Anything and everything goes. I am doing this podcast now because I want to heal in other ways that I wasn't healing before. Might be therapy talk. It might be like marriage talk. It might be abortion, adoption, infertility, like things like that. It's about anything and everything.
Will it be primarily a solo podcast or primarily a guest or a mix between the two?
No, I would love to have guests.
Okay.
Like, come on my podcast.
Okay.
Motherhood. Like, because we're all in this together.
Yeah.
Everybody, even moms who don't have kids, they have fur babies. I am a fur mom right now.
Are you?
Yes. So like and that dog, oh, I love that dog.
It's actually funny because I talk about motherhood as a relationship. I'm going to give my friend Nate a shout out. I know he listens to the podcast because he messaged me one time. He's like, I know your content is for moms, but like it genuinely helps me with my dog.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
like, wow,
it is.
I love that.
Yes.
I had no idea. I could not have foreseen.
Well, did he tell you what it helps him with?
Well, just with like sometimes when he gets annoyed with like the work of having the dog, of taking the dog on walks and stuff, he was like, it's nice to remember that like this isn't, it's like I have the dog because I love the relationship that I have with the dog, but I don't always love the other stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I don't have to feel bad about that. Like sometimes it just feels like a chore.
And another perspective, I was just reading something the other day that Libras take everything from all perspectives.
Oh.
And so from another perspective, a dog's life is such a short time. Mm-hmm. And I will always be thankful for my dog. And the dogs that I had in the past, they've brought me to where I am today, and don't take them for granted because it's like a blip in our life. We think of our children and like, we will maybe have them for 80 years of our lives or 90 years. That's a long time.
Right.
For a dog, it's like 10, 12, 13 years. That is like such a short, minute time in your timeline that don't take it for granted, because those dogs, they do not love you any less from their puppy stage till their end. And they will always love you and the same amount the whole time. And so don't take it for granted.
Don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
This is going to be a hot take, but I'm not an animal person.
Oh, really?
No, I have way too many children to be an animal person.
That's so freaking true. You have too many. You have too many children.
My daughter does have a hamster, but that's as far as we've gone.
Oh, we have my daughter's dog and my daughter's cat right now.
Okay.
And so my daughter lives outside the house, and so, but
And you have them at your house?
yeah, we take care of them.
Oh.
there are animals now.
Oh, wow. That's so nice of you.
She, her and her wife come over, and that's probably going to be another hot take. Her wife. So even last night, Ronnie came over and cleaned out the cat box. So
Okay.
I refuse to clean out the cat box, but I'll feed the cat. We'll take care of the cat. Like if the cat gets sick, we pay for it. The dog's name is Rosie. Our cat's name is Ellie. Like, Rosie just had a $3,500 surgery.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she is our, that's not even like a tip of the iceberg. Our dog that we just lost 2 years ago in October, we paid $10,000 for her to have an emergency hysterectomy. Like I'm telling you, Charlie and I, we will go to the ends of the earth for our animals.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So they are our children.
Yeah.
So that's what I
deserve
mean.
to
It's
have
like
them.
such a blip.
I don't.
Well, you know what? You deserve, yes, you do. You deserve to have.
I don't know. I guess I've never like had like a pet like that I like had a connection
Yeah.
with. So maybe if I did, it'd
Try.
be different.
No, you don't want to.
I know. Maybe
You
I always say when I can afford a house cleaner, I can afford a dog. So when I have a house cleaner coming every week, then it will be a new conversation.
Oh my gosh, don't wait that long.
I have too many children, and this house would not sustain a pet in addition to all the people that live here.
You are in that phase. Maybe eventually you'll be in the dog phase.
We'll see. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I appreciate you having that faith in me.
I do have that faith in you because you know what? Your kids will be so much
It's
better
true.
for it.
They will beat me down at
Yeah.
some point. We'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see how it goes because they all love.
I think you're going to do great with a dog. Maybe
I
start
will
with a
never
cat.
do a cat. I was just about to say,
Well-
I could maybe see a future, maybe like 10% where I could have a dog, 0% chance of me ever having a cat. I'm actually terrified of cats.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like they're very shifty and you have no idea what they're thinking and they could literally eat you at any moment. And you're laughing because you know it's 100% true. Yes. I don't understand why anybody owns a cat. Truly.
So, Ellie, this is like going on way too long, but Ellie, we got her as a kitten, and like she was a
Yeah.
like a full on, like she would hiss at you, you would pet her and she'd bite you. And like legit,
No.
she would turn on you in a second.
I genuinely can't. I think that is true of every single cat I've ever met. But they just
No,
know. They
that's
just
not
know
true.
that I don't like them. So I think there are already
Okay,
like
yeah,
really like
your aura is
suspicious of me.
black to them.
I would not doubt it.
Yes.
I would not doubt it.
Every single other cat that we've had.
There's no way that's true.
No,
Every
it's
single cat
100%
ever
true.
Is so shifty. Like they could be happy one day. Also, oh my
Whose
gosh,
cat were-
just recently did I learn that they do that? Like what do they call it?
Kneading.
Making biscuits.
Yeah, making biscuits. Yeah.
Never have I seen something more terrifying in my entire life.
It's because they're so comfortable and they love you.
Oh my gosh, no. Ew.
Oh, why?
I can't. No, sorry.
Was it a video?
It was a video. Oh my
And
gosh.
you were scared.
Nightmares. Yes, terrified.
It's like me and snakes. I have dreams
I had a
of
pet
snakes.
snake.
Oh my hell no. I have dreams of snakes.
I was also afraid of it for the record.
Oh, the snakes?
Of my pet snake,
Oh,
yes.
Well, so
I'm
I have
scared of cat. I'm scared of all animals, truthfully.
spiders. Yes.
Oh, see, spiders don't bother me.
Oh, if I saw a spider like crawling across, I'd be like stomp.
Yeah.
But
If I like woke up with a spider on me, no, then I'd be scared for sure.
Oh, well, yeah. Who, like, what? I have dreams about snakes flying through the air. I'm like driving in a car and the snake is flying through the air and coming up through my vent in my car.
That's actually terrifying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, yeah.
One time we were, okay, this will be the last thing that we'll wrap up.
Okay.
So we were living in Provo and we lived in a basement apartment.
Okay.
And there was an apartment of 6 guys on top. So it was like 2 separate entrances, whatever. Well, one day, I'm sitting in the bedroom and Steven goes to get something from the bathroom. He's like telling me something. And then he like walked over and then he started walking back. And then as he's just like talking and he's like, and then I think I just saw a snake in the bathroom.
Oh no.
So he turns back around and goes into the bathroom. Kid you not. It was like a little more than a quarter wide.
No.
The guys upstairs had a pet snake.
They lost their snake.
But they'd lost it for like 2 weeks. They didn't tell anybody because they weren't allowed to have a pet. And I was like the manager of the house.
Okay.
So they didn't tell us because they didn't want to get in trouble.
Yeah.
So who the freak? It was like living in the vents of the house for like 2 weeks before it came out. And oh my gosh. Most terrifying experience. I couldn't go around in my apartment without shoes on for like months after.
I have bad dreams that a snake is going to come up through the toilet.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, that's
Can
terrifying.
you imagine that? Now you're going to look in your toilet every time I do that right now. Like I do it all the time. I like make sure that there's not a snake or a spider. I'm not as scared of spiders as I am snakes, but it's up there.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
So anyways, anything and everything.
So your podcast will be Terra Talks
Unfiltered. And
your first episode is coming out.
Yeah, I need to do it. Like,
how about next Friday?
Okay. Since I did your podcast, why don't you do my podcast?
Okay. So you'll have your first podcast episode out by next Friday.
Okay. Done deal.
Friday the 13th. Is that risky or is that good?
No, that is a good.
That's perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Look for it out.
Terra Talks Unfiltered.
Next Friday.
Oh my gosh. I'm so nervous.
Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for coming on Rantish.
Oh my gosh. It was so fun.
And end rant.